Welcome to my life on paper. I am Brianna. Welcome back to Follow a Sketch February with Sandy Reversky from State Goddess on YouTube, Scrapping Reflections on Facebook, and this is our sketch by Stuck Sketches. So today is Sunday, and I participate in Stretch the Sketch, which it is today, but they're not using this sketch. So I will stretch it, but you will also see another video from me this day when I use the sketch for Stretch the Sketch and do another 2-page layout. Here I am going through papers from my Vicky Bouton paper pad, and I just took the ones that I had 2 pages left of, and I really liked these 2 pages, and because they match with my embellishments. So I have Simple Stories. I just got this. Say Cheese Frontier and the Park, bits and pieces, and it's got pirate stuff in it. So I don't know if I've done it yet. Yep, you're gonna see me say, which way should it go? And I really liked it, like the vines coming down. I mean, it's kind of like cave feeling to the ride. So I'm just really happy with the background paper that, it's got kind of mixed media-ish. It's not one solid color. It's got a lot of flow to it. And then I just grab out pieces that I have, just the scraps for those strips in the layout on the sketch. So I've got this bright color stripes. That's going to give me a pop of color. Don't look at this. Don't look at the floral I'm cutting up. Sorry. Yep, so this is going to be a pop of color. I've got that nice light green with the text on it. That's going to go well. What else do I grow out? I do grab out the honeycomb, which has some colors on it. I struggle a little bit. I've got this black, which ends up being a little bit thicker than the rest of the pieces. That's okay. The rest of them are 1 inch. This one's probably like 1.5 inches. Here's the honeycomb with the colors. So I'll get that down to 1 inch on each side. And then I will actually have to go to my full-size papers. I just started off with the colors that I wanted from the scraps. And once I get, I think there's 4 of them here. Yep, 4. And the sketch has 6. So I do go back and pull out some full-size pages with some coordinating papers and use those. So here, the pretty green. And it's just got that textury feeling to it because it's the color is just kind of, looks like mixed media on this page. So I just take inch strips from there, and then I know I'm going to need one more, and this is where I'm deciding, because it's got cut aparts on the back, which part of the cut aparts should I cut off? So I go for this dark green, and I kind of just watch on the back for what I'm cutting into. There's never like the perfect spot, but I went for the bottom rather than the top. Before starting my YouTube video, I did always do 2-page layouts. So I do rather enjoy doing 2-page layouts. And you can get a lot of pictures. And I will actually use more pictures than what's on the sketch. So on the sketch, there are 2 photos, and I get 6 on the 2-page layout. So here you can see that I was, instead of using the black pattern paper, I flipped that over to the kind of the blocks of color with the yellow and the white and the green. And then the way I lay these out on the right hand side, well, maybe I haven't laid them out exactly how I want them. I'm going to trim them all down to about 10 inches. I think on the sketch you can tell they're all different sorts of sizes, but I like symmetry. So, and ease. So even though they have a bunch of different sizes, it's going to be easiest for me just to cut them all down to 10, offset them left and right, and all, like that. Then also, if I want to, I know I can trim them down even further and probably just like grab a scissors, but I got to tell you I didn't. They're all 10 inches on both sides for the whole pattern paper clump that I'm going for. But you're going to see me lay them out in a minute after I trim them all down, because I don't want, well, first of all, I don't want the ones that are super close to the color of the background paper on the ends. So I'll get those in the middle. And then I don't want anything like I don't want the 2 multicolored ones next to each other. So I make sure to spread those out. And you will see my strips on the left side and the right side are going to mimic each other. So if I have a dark green one on the right side, it's going to be in the same spot as the one on the left side. Normally, if I had these strips, I would take my ATG adhesive and just glue them right to the page. Here, I know I want to do some stamping that's going to layer under the strips. So I'm very careful to line them up, and then I'm going to use some liquid glue to just glue them together and not to the page. I did think that I could lay them down, glue them onto the page, and then it's called a mask, where you take just a scrap piece of paper, you put it over the top of the top strip, you know, going down, and then you could just, it stamps part onto that scrap piece of paper that you're covering everything up with and part onto your background. So you only get half of it on the page. But and I don't know, maybe that would have been easier. But the other thing you have to worry about then is it's got layers to this. So that might be a little wonky trying to get it onto the background. Boy, I don't know if I'm explaining it very clearly. Because you've got the ridges and the bumps of the layered paper, that you're going to see the stamp that I bring out. It wouldn't maybe have stamped really nice and flat because of those ridges, even though I would mask off the bottom with a piece of paper a scratch piece of paper. It might not give me a clear inked stamped above that strip, and that was a risk I was not willing to take. So that is why I went this direction instead. Being able to stamp right onto the paper and then lay the strips over the top of the stamping. And I suppose I could have stamped it and then put all my strips together, but I'm a placement person, and that for me would have been taking a risk because I wouldn't have seen how the strips lay down, and so I wouldn't have known exactly where to put my circles. But do which way makes you most comfortable, because you could do it any of the 3 above ways. If I've already confused you, I am so sorry. Leave a message in the comments and I will do another video about how to, in fact, stamp it like it's hot is the first Saturday of the month. I wonder if we don't have some kind of masking coming up. I'm not sure. We have different prompts. So if there is ever anything you want to see, any technique with stamping, let me know. We'll do it for Stamp It Like It's Hot. I was having a bit of a problem with my glue. It is not the glue's fault. This is Barely Art glue, and I put a pin in it, and you know, it stays really nice and stuff, but sometimes it just gets a little clump in there where I just gotta get the clump out. So I ended up with a little bit of extra glue, but that's okay. And this glue is working. There's my stamp. Now you can maybe understand. See, you could stamp it like that, but you got to put your masking paper over the top so you don't. So it stamps on the scratch paper and not the layout. So I take my Catherine Pooler Midnight ink, which is nice and juicy. I get that on my stamp. Now I'm not being totally careful. And I'm sorry about the shake of the camera. My stand for my phone sits right on my desk, so it's going to shake when I stamp down. So I check to make sure that's where I'm liking it, and then I do the second one, which again is kind of random. It's not super, you know, no science. Oh, bad camera shake, sorry. No science to it. So, and then look, ta-da, yay. I super like the way it turned out. Now, that's not in your face at all, nice and subtle, but it does reflect what's in the sketch. And then you can kind of embellish around it. So I'm hoping to kind of create the same thing, but backwards on the other side. Because again, I like symmetry. You could have done this a million different ways. You could have put 3 circles on. You know what I mean? Like it's a sketch, it's a jumping off point, but I did like the way the sketch looked. And I'm usually an exact sketch follower. So it's a little bit different for me, which is good for me, right? To get out of my box. Use 3 pictures on each side. And these, like I said, these pictures have been waited to be scrapped since last February. So super excited to get these in the album. And then I use my ATG to get the whole thing glued down onto the page. Once I get these all glued down. Oh, I should tell you what it says on the stamp. So it's funny because it says, while the original is always hard to find, it's easy to recognize. And then going the other way, it says one of a kind, original, priceless, unique. So you get to see the top part on the one circle and the bottom part on the other circle. Here I'm trying to figure out how I put my photos because in the sketch it's only two. So there's a picture of a pirate, there's a picture at the end of Jack Sparrow and with his money, his treasure, and then the last one is actually it was a horizontal picture, but as long as you got my family in there, I didn't care. So I made it a vertical one to kind of just go with the other pictures. I'm gonna get those glued down with the ATG, then go to the other side and do something similar again on the left side, but I'm not looking for exact. You can see that middle one is up a little bit higher. So, but yeah, it's kind of mirroring the other side. I'll get those glued down and then I'll bring out my embellishments from that new pack that I just got from Simple Stories. And again, I bought the pack from Simple Stories knowing that I had these photos to do, so it was very good timing. That is going to be the journaling spot on the right bottom. It says "Hear Ye." I'm going to cover that up. I had "Walk the Plank," and I wasn't so sure where to put "Walk the Plank," so it goes on the journaling spot. And then here are some jugs, some pirate clothes. Why they have pirate pants and a pirate shirt with a, I think it's a pirate shirt with a hook separate. Maybe you're supposed to piece them together. I didn't. I used them as multiple embellishments. There is the steering wheel of the ship. There's the treasure, so I wanted that to go right there at the end. And there's the skull with the parrot and the seagull with the steering wheel. That's not called a steering wheel. And then the little spot says "Yo ho, yo ho, a pirate's life for me," and I'm kind of calling that my title. And I believe it's a little bit different spot than what the sketch is. The pirate flag goes up on top there. And then I'm going to start to just layer things in. So like the sword, the camera goes with the pants, the sword goes with the words. What else? The jug goes with the pirate hook there. And I know I want to do some kind of enamel dots or something. Oh, up on the top circle, you'll see two round circles. Those are cannonballs like you would shoot from like a cannon from a ship. There is no cannon in these embellishments, but those will be a couple tucking pieces later. And since I've got my glue out and working now, I'm just going to use that to glue down the embellishments. It does not bother me, especially with these pictures, to use liquid glue on the pictures. These are very easily replicated photos. So it's not like I don't have another digital copy. I can and the other thing is that they're of the pirate ride. It's not like they're important photos. They're not, I don't want to say not important photos, but they're not, it's not like a wedding or something like that. So getting all those things glued down, and then I lost, what did I lose? I can't even remember. But the cannonball stayed on the page while I flipped my papers around. So here I'm going to tuck them in with my glue. One goes by the skull and one goes by the steering wheel. And then I use these because these remind me kind of it's a dark silvery sparkly thing, but it kind of reminds me of the cannonball. So I use do I use 3 of them? I think I only use 4. And I think I have one left, and I just have that single solitary one left. And then these are some enamel dots. They're kind of glossy that I've had forever, and they're just kind of a dark color, so I put those on there. And then the last thing I'll do is use some Distress Spray Stain Black Soot, and that is it. And I really like the way this turned out. I like to use the Vicky Bouton pieces. I like that I got to use the Simple Stories pirate pieces, and it makes me happy that it's done. So I hope you guys have a fabulous day. Thank you so much for sticking with me through the end, and I will see you again soon.